let's, okay. Get the live feed going and everything.
Okay.
Up there, okay.
So, Mayor.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Aaron. Autumn.
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes. Stand for the prayer for the pledge. Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. And I ask you to look out for our community and all of our residents and our entire state as this cold front comes through. I ask you watch over this body and help us to make good decisions. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding Resolution 1, 2022, a resolution calling an election in the city of Perkins, Oklahoma, for the purpose of submitting to the registered qualified voters of said city a proposed amendment to the charter of the city of Perkins, Oklahoma, Article 2, the Commission, Section 212, Commissioners' Removal, to add a recall provision setting ballot language and designating to the Secretary of the Election Board of Payne County the precincts to be opened and closed. Okay. I have some notes that I wrote down. This was, we talked about this some in the past, as adds recall language. If somebody wants to work on a recall petition. So I'm going to kind of briefly go over it. Now, before I go over it, I'm not an attorney. I did talk with a city attorney, and so I wrote some notes. I'm going to basically hopefully go down as best I can with the conversation that we've had. But I'm not an attorney, so just want to make that clear. Okay, so the petition, if you want to do a recall petition, it's kind of divided into two phases. There's the initial phase, which has a sort of a question, or it's a statement as it's referred to, as to why you feel that the particular commissioner or even mayor, anybody on the board, should be recalled. That in order to have that sent to the city clerk, it has to have 100 verified signatures. After they receive it, a copy of it then is sent to the appropriate commissioner. They've got a 10-day window to respond, and then if the group of people, whomever is wanting to continue on with the recall initiative, they have a second petition that they put together that will have the question, the response if one is provided, and then you need a second new set of signatures. And I'm going to go over that. So the second set of signatures, and this was some of the changes that we added in since last time we looked at it, that will be, it will require at least 200 signatures or 25% of the last election turnout, whichever one is greater. So there's going to be a minimum of 200, then as the city grows and hopefully lots more people get involved in elections, that will move up. So if you go through all of that, and it goes through, you have the election, and then the person being recalled can run for office or not run for office again. There is a provision, I think, where it says if they lose the recall election or resign, they can't run for 4 years. They don't have to run if they don't want to. And we also added another new provision in where you can only recall the commissioner once during that term. So all terms are 3 years. So if a recall initiative goes through and I guess if there's an election and they win that election, you have to wait till the next term if they run again at the next election, the next term. And the point of that is to keep people, to try to make it sure you're just not in a constant flux of recalls. It's something that should be you should be able to accomplish, but it shouldn't be so easy that it's just we create chaos. And that was the reason for those two changes. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, anything to add. There's a few people in the audience here. I don't know if anybody else has anything they would like to talk about or.
Just one clarification. On the only one recall, there's a provision, there's an exception.
Hold
Unless-
on. Can we have you
I'm sorry.
to the
Oh,
podium?
yes, I did leave the exception off. If you want to talk about it, you can, or you want me to talk about it? There is an exception.
Sorry, yes.
You're correct. I did leave, if say you want to start a second recall on a person who won their recall election, you can do another one or more, but the person or group of people doing the effort for the second recall during that same term have to cover the election costs. What was it when we did the last special election? Was it
It was
$3,800?
about $3,800.
So 38, but we'll just call it 4,000. So if you are that determined that you want to do a second attempt to recalling somebody, you have to pay for that election if it occurs. Okay, now that I cover everything. Anybody else have any questions or anything that they would like to know? Any comments?
No.
No. All right, well, I will make the motion to accept the resolution.
I'll second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes.
Okay, I will move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Mayor,
Yes.